2009, a 19-year-old Etienne would form a solo project after realizing he wanted to pursue music full-time. Etienne would create one of the most controversial emo bands of the emo scene. This is Etienne Sin, the worst emo band of all time.
If you ever want an artist that is so cringy, look up like Etienne Sin.
I think I've given up hope on humanity. Yeah.
It's like if Good Cop, Bad Cop was a song.
Now, on September 28th of 1990, Etienne would be born into an Indian family, and from this young age, Etienne would have a passion for music and everything. Since the age of 16, he's been producing, which of course would be a skill that he would use in his future endeavors. He would also attend music school at the time. During this time, he was trying to get a 9-to-5 job in the music field, but soon stopped after dropping to pursue his music career. It's also been alleged at this time that Etienne was homeless, had no job, no nothing. So when he turned 19, he came to the realization that he wanted to make music full-time, and during this realization, he made his solo project, Etienne Sin, the name coming from Etienne being the actual guy's name. Now at first, Etienne wanted to make hip-hop type shit since it was what he grew up with, but he wanted to add rock influences into the music, which explains the whole rap-rock fusion that he would later captivate into his later projects. Another thing to know is that this project was always just Etienne. But just like bands like a la Foo Fighters and 9 Inch Nails, he would acquire an entire band to portray the illusion of a real band, and of course if they ever were to play live, he would use those for. This band would contain Justin Ma on lead guitar, Chris Fenimore on rhythm guitar, Felix Casanova on bass, and Steven Abrams on drums, though these members aren't seen until later music videos. Now with this lineup ready, Etienne would post the band's music onto his MySpace account and the band's very own website, etiennesin.com obviously. And on their website they would add downloads to the band's music and give away this free EP by the name of A Beautiful Agony in Beautiful Comic Sans, because 2009. And around 2010 is when he would release the debut album by the name of The Art of Stealing Hearts. This album would have this post-hardcore type sound like the Evelyn Sirens and Pierce the Veil and stuff like that were doing at the time. And Etienne would continue with this sound for a long time, although to very, very high critical panning. The most important song out of this period would have to be Carved by Ships, Built for Hearts from their second record. Now this song embodies the entire band's sound. Now brace yourself, because I'm going to play you a quick snippet of this fucking song. As you can hear, it's a mess. Now it's like down to the high falsetto to the shitty sounding electronic beat. This basically sums up the band well in only one song. Now also during this period is when Etienne would start a series on his own YouTube channel teaching people how to screamo scream. You know, the whole fry scream shit. This series would of course be called Scream School, and it lasted 5 episodes, but then later on in 2011 he would drop an educational course, instructional course teaching people how to screamo scream, and this course would be called Dreaming of Screaming, which lasted 3 volumes. These actually costed money, around like I think $150, but Etienne genuinely gave out free discounts. These were all on his website. So despite the man's music not being good, you can tell he had the passion and skill as he's helping people learn how to fry scream, essentially. But one thing I do want to point out is that in 2014, the infamous man known in the emo community for being shitty, Brian Stars, would co-sign the band by uploading the music videos for one of their songs onto his channel. You can also see Brian with a photo of Etienne right here. And Etienne was now well known in the emo scene, was somewhat tapped in at this time. And with that popularity, the band of course got a lot of hate. And then 2016 came around, and in 2016, Etienne decided to switch it up to see what stuck. And mind you, right, remember, we mentioned that Etienne wanted to do hip-hop at the start, right? Well, that's going to come into play because now he started to do rap and this fusion of post-hardcore and rap. Think nu metal, but not as iconic or as fun as nu metal. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mess overall. And this would of course be an extremely jarring change since Etienne went from being this emo guy to trying to be a rapper. And in a lot of his raps, which I have a big issue for, this man uses nigga more than yours truly. Now as a black person, I don't mind that this man that is not black is using it, though I have issues with that, especially with the fact that Etienne himself is not black. That man is full-blown Indian. It's like the last thing we need is a guy like this using not only our culture but also our word to make his own shitty little raps. It makes me sad to watch. And this change led to his most infamous and biggest record to date, when in July of 2016 he would release Sinna Volume 1, an absolute garbage record, but it featured one of his biggest songs to date, Remember. This song would be a semi-meme and the video would be mocked on relentlessly. I'm pretty sure even Leafy made a video about the guy, or one of those like commentary like channels. So you can definitely find why people did not fucking like it, and there's a lot of reasons. It's like, oh my god, like the song would feature everything Etienne has been doing for years at that point to a new audience. It said it was bad to the one-of-a-kind girl lyric, the lyric of the dog shit lyric of "I'm one of a kind girl," to him saying the N-word, to him dabbing, not to mention these questionable fucking lyrics.
It used to be just you and me. We would chill after classes, and I would pick you up after practice just to get you on that.
Nigga, that is right.
Mind you, a genius annotation of this lyric says, and I quote, "This line is deep because it truly shows the depths of Sin's depravity. He would enter her school after classes just to see her and even pick her up, and then even pick her up from school to have very illegal sex. Most likely, as a listener can infer, she is a minor and he's at least 26, no cap." That's an actual genius annotation, and shout out to the guy that did that genius annotation, because dear god, and that's not even the worst part of the song, down to the shitty keyboards, goofy breakdown, and the feature of Alexa Length, who no one has ever heard of a day in their life. Not to mention the amount of hate this video got was fucking insane. Like, this video and song is one that you have to truly experience for yourself. And my description of this piece of shit cannot even is not even enough. Like, at all, it's not even enough to fully describe anything about this, dog. And then to top it off, and then 2017 came around, right? And at this time, Etienne started his own label, Rebel Gang Records. What a name. Which would have artists like Dead Boy and Love Kills, artists that, again, you've never heard of. Now in 2018, Etienne transitioned to make hip-hop only. This nigga would start to dress like Cardi and had a name change. He went from Etienne Sin to Young Rockstar because he found his own name too hard to say, which, fair enough. And at this time, he would, of course, post collabs with the artists that he signed, and then after 2018, he just dipped from the internet. Until now. Because while we were making this video, we found that Etienne possibly signed this new artist named Dopesick, a name that is just very mid. But and on the old Etienne channel, which of course is now the one for his label, they uploaded one of his songs, right? And in the comments, this guy is like saying that there's going to be a new mixtape in the works with Dopesick and Etienne or something, and now it's going to be post-hardcore influence. So we guess the man is basically planning his grandiose return to the emo genre, right? Shit like that. And also around this time is when Etienne would become a semi-meme as Brad tasted music, and his community would get a hold of the record. But as of right now, that is the end of the chapter. That is the end of the Etienne Sin story, right? And now, here's for the Yap session. So, this is the most latest one I've done. And I want to mention that we do have new shit coming. The channel is not dead. I know I have a upload schedule worse than Corey Kenshin, but believe me, boys, we have new content coming. Trust me on that. And in that time, right, one of the main forms of content is that me and a good friend of the channels, KJM Animations, is starting this like music-related album listening to like thing known as Lobotomy FM. Lobotomy FM. It's one of my favorite things I wanted to do, and it's gonna be us and of course Paige if they will join in, listening to albums that are absolute dog shit. And of course, one of the ones on the list is Sinna Volume 1. So prepare yourself for that. In the next video we have planned is two big ones. One of them is one that I've been working on for a long while, and the other one is a very special one I've worked as well on that I cannot reveal now, but you will definitely see it when the time comes. Thanks for watching. I've been Zoe Graves. We'll see y'all in the next video.
This is what I live for.